Hello and welcome to Quintel Designs HD video tutorial series. I'm your host Ryan Quintel, owner and webmaster of Quintel Designs, and today we're going to be tackling a simple film strip in Adobe Illustrator. This can be used for a media website or even an icon to represent a media section, movie section, anything you really want. Let's hop into Illustrator and get started. So in Adobe Illustrator, we're going to create a new print document, and let's just use some default settings here. We'll print as the document profile, and landscape mode, and we'll call it film strip. We're not going to be moving too exact as far as the film strip. No reference image needed. If you know what a negative strip looks like, that's going to make things a lot easier for you. So let's jump right in. What we're going to make really is a series of rectangles, and that should be pretty simple. We're going to use almost exclusively the rectangle tool. So let's select it and get started. With your rectangle tool selected in Illustrator, let's create a big box. Perfect. And so you can see it, we'll color it black here, and remove the stroke. That's important. This tutorial assumes you do have a basic level understanding of all of Illustrator's tools. If you don't, there's plenty of websites that'll give you reference, and the Adobe help file should help too, as well as playing around. Inside our black box, we're going to make some red rectangles. The reason we're going to use red is basically to show where our path will be overlapping. Select color and red. So you see here, nothing too fancy. Maybe make it a bit bigger. Perfect. Hold down Alt on your keyboard and drag this box to the left and to the right. So now we have 3 red rectangles in our original black rectangle. Now we're going to use the Align palette to align all of these and get them straightened out. So select everything with Control A. In your Align palette at the top toolbar, make sure everything's aligned to artboard. And we're going to do 2 types of align here. We're going to horizontal align and vertical align. Click them both and get everything aligned. Now, hold down Shift on your keyboard and unselect the black rectangle, and we're going to distribute the red rectangles. So let's choose horizontal distribute center. And you see here it spreads them out the width of the canvas. They're a little overlapping, so you may have to drag them out. Hold down Shift and drag them. And kind of space them so that they're spaced appropriately. I think that should do it. And you should have something that looks like this by now. Now we're going to view the Pathfinder. The Pathfinder is going to do some magic work for us. The reason why we have these rectangles as red is we can see where they're leaving the black shape and where they're kind of cutting off on the edge of the document. Select everything with Control A. And if you don't have your Pathfinder open, go to Window and choose Pathfinder. It pops right up. We're going to use 2 Pathfinder commands. We'll use Divide, which cookie cutters everything. And what that cookie cutter allows us to do is take this white arrow, our direct select, and just click on each end and hit delete. They'll go away. And we're going to use divide again, making our small rectangles. So we have 1 small rectangle here. And you want to position this one fairly accurately to the end result. So a little smaller and up. This time, we're going to take this, hold down Alt and Shift, and drag the second one all the way over to the right side. So our tiny little film holes on the top and bottom, we want all the way to the left and all the way to the right. This is going to establish where these holes start and stop. We're going to use the Blend tool to fill them in. So select the Blend tool in the Tools palette and double-click it. Here we're going to use specified steps instead of smooth color. And let's choose 15. Hit OK. At this point, click the left small red rectangle, drag it over to the right, let go, and nothing really happened here, but we have to end the blend, so click and hold on the right and drag over to the left. And there we go. Illustrator filled in all the gaps for us. Now you'll notice there's a blue line through all these rectangles. That's because they're just an effect. They don't actually exist in Illustrator. So in order to make sure that they become objects, we're going to have to expand them. Go to the Object menu at the top and select Expand. Object and Fill both should be checked off and hit OK. And voila, we have ourselves the boxes, or our film holes, if you will. Now these holes are actually for gripping the negative when it runs through the reel, so there's a little fun background for you, I guess. Let's select all of our red boxes now. They're all grouped together. Hold down Alt, our cursor changes, we're duplicating, and Shift. And when we click and drag, you see you want to start moving with Alt first, then hold down Shift, and it stays in a straight line. Bring these down to the bottom. And now we have our film strip, only we don't want it red. Use the magic wand and pick your red, and let's make it a gray. Not too shabby. Finally, we're going to add some effects to this film strip. The film strip itself isn't very interesting, just looking straight on, so we're going to give it a little personality. First, we're going to group this object so it works all as one unit. You can select everything with Control A or click and drag. Right-click and group the object. Now that you have this grouped, we're going to go to the Effect palette and apply a wrap effect, or a warp effect rather. I always get those confused. So choose warp, and it doesn't matter which one you choose because you can get to all of them in this effect, but we'll choose flag because that is the one we want. Okay, so scary dialog box, sliders, numbers to type in, options. Don't worry about a lot of this. This is all really simple. Click on preview to turn this on. So we're seeing, oh, okay, it's kind of waving it like a flag here. Now you have the option of typing in your values or using these slide bars to get the achieved effect. Now, what I like to do is I like to use the slide bars and then type in the next whole number to remember what I did. So let's leave the bend at 50%. Horizontal will go to 39, that's fine. And vertical will kick to 30. And we'll round that 39 to 40. And you can hit OK. Hey, not bad. Let's give it one extra pizzazz. And we'll go to Effect again, Stylize, and Drop Shadow. Let's see what the default drop shadow yields. Not bad at all. I think I like it. Let's turn the opacity down to maybe 50% and turn the blur up to 10. It takes a second to process. Times I wish my computer was faster. And hit OK. Now we've got ourselves a pretty decent looking film strip. You can take this now and use it, scale it, tweak it. It's yours to tweak and change as you will. Before I let you go though, there is one thing I want to show you. If we scale this film strip down, we'll notice something. When you go to rotate it, you'll see that the blue box at its original square shape is still existent. So when you rotate, some bad stuff starts to happen. As you can see, our film strip doesn't look like how it should, and it's getting all distorted. And maybe you don't want that. Maybe you don't want it just straight. So let's edit undo that. And I'm going to show you how to preserve this effect that you created. Let's hold down Alt, click and drag, and make a second film strip. And we'll use that expand command that we used before And this time we're going to expand the appearance. So go to Object, Menu, and select Expand Appearance. So what this does is it keeps the group, and it keeps the wave, and it keeps the drop shadow. Only now, if you ungroup it, it doesn't go back to being the square shape. It's stuck in this form forever. So there's positive and negative things about this. If you look at our object on the right, you can see that when we rotate, it has no problem. It stays exactly where it should, and it looks exactly like how it should. But if we ever wanted to edit this shape, we're kind of stuck in the way it's curved. We're stuck in that. But if we take our object on the left and we want to, say, drag out a piece of it, we can select an old piece and drag it out, and you can see you can make edits to the original shape, and in real time it updates the effect. So you can kind of play around with that and have some fun. It's basically going to change based on how you need it. If you need this to be flexible, save it like this, or make a copy and expand it and use that how you will. But at that time, it's yours to play with. So, have a little fun. Give it some backdrop here. Simple stuff. I can't make it too pretty. Sometimes I get accused of spending too much time on something. As you can see with the original shape, you can pull it out, expand it. You can even use that magic wand to select your outlines of the white boxes, turn those into a gradient. So you get a real different look depending on what you want to do, and add some type to that. Movie. Slick, huh? Yeah, okay, I've made things better, but, we'll leave it at that. So, that's a quick and simple film strip in Adobe Illustrator. Go have fun and download the sample file straight from QuintelDesigns.com.